everybody. Today we are going to start JavaScript. We have already finished HTML and CSS, so we are going to start with JavaScript. So before starting JavaScript, I would like to give you a brief introduction, why it is used and what way it helps when you create a website, because our course motive is creating a website. So JavaScript, basically it's a client-side coding. I'll just explain you in a while what is the client-side coding and what is the server-side coding. You can just have a look on this. Web designing has two parts, designing and coding. Designing means creating a front page without any actions. That can be done very easily with HTML and CSS. Already we have done it. And coding. Coding, there are two types, like client-side coding is there and server-side coding is there. Client-side coding means what? Any code which is written should be executed in the client's computer. That means if you create a website called xyz.com and if you write any client-side coding to create that website, when your client opens that website, when your customer opens your website, whatever the code you have written in client-side coding, that code will be executed in your customer's browser itself. It will not come to your server where actually your website is running. That's the meaning of client-side coding. So basically using JavaScript we do client-side coding itself. Server-side coding means what? Any code that requires server for execution. Say you have server-side coding can be done with PHP or .NET. Say for example you have written some PHP coding in creating your website or web application. So if your customer opens your website, whatever you have written in PHP, that will not be executed in your customer's computer. That has to come to your server and get it executed. So now I'll tell you what is the difference between these two, when we have to use this and when we have to use server-side coding. When we should use this client-side coding, for example, you have certain operations in your website which do not require server. That means, for example, you are giving the application form for the client or for a student or for a customer. So in that you are asking him many details, like you are asking him to enter the name, you are asking him to enter the phone number, etc. So in the place of name, what your customer does, he enters the phone number. In the place of phone number, he enters the name. So to check whether he has entered name or phone number, you don't have to take those details to the server and check. You can check in his computer itself. So using the JavaScript, you can check what he is entering. If he is entering any wrong input, you can clearly tell him there only that you are not supposed to enter the number in the column of name and name in the column of number. So for this operation, we don't need server. When we need server, for example, you have a login credentials you have given for your clients. Your client is entering the username and password. So obviously all the usernames and passwords of the clients are stored in the server. So when your client enters the username and password, to check that you have to take that username and password to the server and compare in the server whether it is equal or not. For that you need server. For that you can't do client-side coding in that case. You have to go for server-side coding. That means either PHP or .NET or any other server-side coding you have to use. I hope you clearly understood what is the difference between client-side coding and server-side coding. So we are starting JavaScript now, which is purely client-side coding. That means JavaScript code will be executed in your customer's browser only. It will not be executed in your server. To execute a JavaScript program, you don't need a server at all. So let us come to the topic now. So how to add JavaScript in your HTML page? As we have seen in CSS, there were three methods to add CSS in HTML page, that is inline, internal, external. In the same way, to add JavaScript also there are two methods. One is internal JavaScript, another is external JavaScript. What is the meaning of internal JavaScript? If you are adding JavaScript in your web page itself, in your same file where you are writing the HTML code, that is called as internal JavaScript. External JavaScript means you are creating a separate file for JavaScript as we created for CSS external. We are creating a separate file for JavaScript and there we are going to write only the script. We are not going to write any HTML commands or CSS commands. That is called external JavaScript. Once you create an external JavaScript file, you can import that file in any HTML file and make use of that script. So external JavaScript file should be saved in the name of .js. That extension you have to give it as .js. For internal JavaScript, obviously it's a HTML file, .html. So let us start with first internal JavaScript. So what I'm doing is, first I'm giving HTML. I'll just write a bit and show you how it looks like. So let me open the notepad. So what I'll do here, I'll be writing first HTML, then head. Normally we give internal script inside the head, even inside body also you can give. So how to start the script? So you have to give the command called script, then language is equals to JavaScript. So now whatever you write from here onwards, that will be considered as a JavaScript, because we have written clearly here script language is equals to JavaScript. This is how we need to start JavaScript. So what we have to write in JavaScript? There are a lot of commands and statements in JavaScript that we'll be discussing one by one. First, what I'm going to show you is, I'm going to show you document.write. This is the command. It is just like a printf in C language. This document.write is used to print any message in the body of your HTML page. So I'll be writing here, welcome to JavaScript. Now I'll end the script. Now I'll end the head. I'll store the body. I'll write something in the body as well. I'll just write h1 and write this is body and end h1. Then end the body, end the HTML. So what is happening here, inside the head section, we have started the JavaScript. We have written one command of the JavaScript, which is basically used to print whatever we have written here, and then end the JavaScript, and then end the head. In the body, we have written normally the HTML code. So how to save this? So go to file, save it. Say I'll just give the file name called test.html. You're not supposed to give your .js because it's not a JavaScript file. It's a HTML file only, where we are adding the JavaScript into HTML file. So I'm just going to save it as test.html and all files. Save it. After saving, let me see. Yeah, here it is. So it is in the internet, so I'll just open it in Google Chrome because it is much faster than Internet Explorer. So it is opening now. So what happens here? Body and head. So normally in HTML file, head takes the first priority. That means whatever you write inside the head, whether it is a JavaScript code or CSS code, that will be executed first. Then it comes to the body. So it is opening. Yeah, it just opened. As I was mentioning you, first it is showing welcome to JavaScript, which is the JavaScript part which is mentioned in the head section, and then this is body. This is the normal HTML code which is mentioned in the body section. So as I was telling you, first preference goes to the head. So head is executed first, so this is coming, and then body is executed next. So then what are we supposed to do next? Suppose in case I want to add JavaScript in the body, you can do that as well. I will add here script language JavaScript. So let me add one more statement here, document.write. This is also JavaScript. So end script. Now since I have mentioned this script inside the body, it will not take the first priority. After printing this is body only, this will be printed. So let us save this. Go back, refresh F5. I think I would have already known. There is some spelling mistake there. Yeah, we are not supposed to give this symbol. We have to give close bracket and semicolon because it is just like C language. So let us save this. Go back, refresh. Exactly. Now you can see first head section is getting executed, then body section. In body section, this is coming from normal HTML code and this is again coming from the script. So this is also coming from script and this is also coming from script. So what you can see here, inside document.write, you can even use HTML commands like I'll use bold and I'll end the bold here. I'll save it. I'll go back, refresh. See, bold is coming to this because this document.write accepts all the HTML commands. Here you can write another command like underline and end the underline after this. Now go back. Now underline is coming for this particular thing. So this is the document.write which belongs to JavaScript. Let us see some more commands of JavaScript. Yeah, I hope you understood now internal. We are doing now internal JavaScript. So next is, that's what I was about to tell you, adding HTML tags. Just now I told you, you can add bold, italic, BR, all these commands you can add inside document.write itself. And external JavaScript. So how do you go for this external JavaScript? So in the external JavaScript, what you are supposed to do, I'll create a folder by the name of test JavaScript. Inside this folder, I'll be creating two files, one for HTML and one for purely JavaScript. So what I'll do now, I'll go for a new file in the notepad. I'll create first JavaScript file. So when you're doing JavaScript file, when you're writing JavaScript file, no need to write this HTML, all these things. Directly you'll be writing the JavaScript code. What you'll be writing, for example, I'll write document.write. This is JavaScript external. So this is one command. One more command I'm going to write once again, document.write. Don't think there is only one command in JavaScript which is document.write. There are a lot of commands. I'm just giving you this example because to show you what is the difference between internal JavaScript and external JavaScript. So I'm going to write one more statement called thank you. Now this is the JavaScript file. So this has to be saved by the extension of .java as I told you. So save it by the name of suppose my script.js. So all files, let me put it inside this test JavaScript folder. Save it. Now after this, let me open a new file. Here I have a HTML head. So inside head we have to import the JavaScript file. How to import it? You can see here clearly inside the head, to import JavaScript you have to use script language is equal to JavaScript, then source. Source you give that file name and then end the JavaScript. So this is what I'm going to give here. Let me just copy this and paste it because here also I have to write the same thing. So here what is happening? Script language. Yeah, here I have to give that file name. What is the file name I gave? My script. Okay, .js. That's the file name I think I gave. Yeah, let me see what name I gave. Yes, myscript.js. That's the file name I gave. It's there. Myscript.js is there. So now that file, JavaScript file is imported here. Once it is imported, end the head, then start the body, then give something in the body like this is body. End the body, end the HTML. Now save this file as HTML file.html. So now when you open your folder, there are two files here. One is HTML file, another is JavaScript file. You don't have to open JavaScript file, open the HTML file. So right click, open with Chrome. So when you open this, this is coming from that script and this is coming from the file. So what is happening here? External file is imported and the output also is coming. You can see clearly here. This is JavaScript. I'll just zoom a little bit. You can see here. This is JavaScript, and thank you. Both the lines are coming, and then body is getting executed. So this is the internal and external creation of JavaScript files. Now let us go to the next topic. Next topic is variables and data types. See, one very good thing in JavaScript is you can say it's a data type free. You don't have to specifically mention what data type it is. Like in C language, we have to mention whether it is integer or float or whatever it is. But here, you don't have to mention it. For example, suppose if you start a script, if I want to create variables, in C language I have to give like this, int x, comma, y, comma, z. Then this x, y, z belongs to integer. You are supposed to store only integers into x, y and z. But in JavaScript, how do we create variables? You just give var command, then give x, comma, y, comma, z. In this case, what happens? X, y, z are independent data types. That means inside x, I can store a number. Then it becomes integer. X becomes automatically integer. Inside y, I'll store the name Rajesh. Now y automatically becomes string. Inside z, I will store 34.5. Now z automatically becomes float. That means this is data type independent. You can create a variable and you can store whatever you want inside that variable. It automatically becomes that specified particular data type. So it's quite easy to run data types in JavaScript. That's what I'm showing here. Where num is equals to 10, then num becomes integer. Where num is equals to Ramesh, then num becomes string. Where balance is equals to 2.34, then balance becomes float. So to work with data types, I've just given a small example here. So HTML body, inside the body only I'm writing the script here. As you know, we can write the script inside the body also and as well as inside the head also. So script language and ID number, I'm storing 100 into ID number, Sachin into name and marks into 99. Now I want to print these three values to the customer. How do we print it? I can use document.write. I'm using the center command here. As I told you, we can use HTML commands also inside the document.write. Again, document.write, I'm just giving a message called student details, then BR, then HR, width. You know what happens here because already we have done this HTML thing. And document.write ID number is equals to, see, this is a message. The message is being put within the double quotes. After this message, I want to print this value. To print the value, I'm just using the plus symbol. It is just like Java. I'm just using the plus symbol and printing this variable. So this variable value, that is ID number value 100. Sorry, battery is running low. Let me just give a break here. Yeah, I am back. Battery was running low, so I had to cut this little bit. So ID number is equals to this, but here in this place, this particular 100 will be printed. And then again document.write BR command, that means it comes to the next line. In the next line, name is equals to message will print, and then it prints plus name. Name means that name Sachin will be printed here. And then marks is equals to marks. Marks means 99.9 will be printed. So how the output looks like? Let me just copy this, paste it here, and save this file, and go back to your folders and try to open this file and see how the output looks like. Yeah, there is some issue, some spelling mistake would be there. Script language is equals to JavaScript. Yeah, there was a spelling mistake. Here I had written SCIRPT instead of RIPT. So even if a small spelling mistake, nothing will come in the output. So let us save this and go back to output and see. This is the output of this. You can see here student details, it's coming in the center. I'll just zoom a little bit. You can see student details, it's coming in the center because I have written here center command. I've written here center command. and then ID number is equals to 100. You can see ID number is equals to, that is a message which is supposed to be printed inside these double quotes. So whatever you give inside these double quotes, that will come as it is. It's just a message. After double quotes, you give a plus symbol and give the variable name, then that variable value will be printed. So 100 is getting printed here. Name is Sachin and marks is 99.99. So I have written some XYZ information here. That information also is coming here. So this is how we create variables in JavaScript. So this is the lesson number 1. Next topics we'll be discussing in lesson number 2. Thank you.
Hi, I'm your online tutor Rakshith. I teach web designing and digital marketing. If you want to be a web developer or digital marketing expert, please visit my website digitalrakshith.com. Thank you.